Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, collectors of all ages, welcome back to AussieVerse. Thank you very much for joining us here today. I am OmniBeau, joined by SingleIssue Steve and Sharif, and for the first time dipping his toes into the AussieVerse realm, he has come from another dimension. That's right, we have had many people that have come from different countries and continents and YouTube videos, and even though this guest does sort of tick those boxes, it's the first time we have had a guest from a different dimension. What are we talking about? We will let you know in just a moment. This is the gentleman that has his very own YouTube show. It has got some absolutely fantastic content. You need to check it out. More on that on later. It is the one, the only Dr. Von Hoot. How are you, brother?
I'm very, very well. And also, I feel like I need you to do my press. Just I can just get you recorded and I can play you back and be great. Yeah, I'm very well. How are you guys?
Very good,
Excellent.
mate. Very good.
Very good.
It's nice to have you on.
I'm not going to
I'm excited. It's always an honor to be asked. It's great.
So if you do want to also be like DVH and come onto the show, please check out our socials right there on Linktree. That has it all that you can go click on and also be a member and all of that jazz. Speaking of being a member, we do want to shout out to our paid members. We love you. Thank you so, so much. Azriel85, The Fourth Monkey, Ali, Ben Sullivan, Simple Simon. And even though we do love you, just remember everyone else out there that the best way to support the channel is by just subscribing. Thank you very much. And the last thing I do want to show is where can you find Dr. Von Hoot? Well, I'm sure if you just type in his name in YouTube, you can find it. But boom, it's right there. And that will be in the description too. Let's get down to some people that are here to say hello to you, sir. First up is Christina Payne. Thank you, Christina. She also shares the link. Good work. Dave here for the hoots. Thank you. Dead Man Comic Cover Show. Good morning and evening. Very apropos. That is correct. And question for the Spiral Dimension fella. What favorite comics made him hoot?
Oh, what favorite comics make him hoot? Depends on what you define as hooting, really, doesn't it? I mean, I'm very partial to Batman. Always have been. It depends. Because there's other stuff like I've just recently read the one that's the Great British Bump Off. Yeah, I don't know if you've heard of that. It came out from Dark Horse last year, and it's a really fun 4-issue murder mystery set in a baking tent, and it's fun. It's worth a read. So that's a hoot too. Depends what you mean.
So if you're a big Batman fan, do you have mixed feelings about the Court of Owls?
No, I mean the Court of Owls are an inspiration in a lot of ways. And I'll tell you why. It's because I'm actually pretty scared of owls. I think they're terrifying, which is why, and actually the Court of Owls is one of the Batman stories that really hooks me. So, yeah, that's sort of my origin story in a way.
Well, that was the first question for the night. And guess what? He is now a member of the Four Lifers. Thank you very much, Dave, for joining. We really appreciate it, mate. Oh, no, we already asked that one. And what else has got? If you haven't already hit that like button for Aussie. Dave, you are all cylinders on fire today, sir. Thank you so much.
Dave is a great guy. I've only spoken to him a few times, but every time I do, he's a pleasure. So
now I'm going to have to contact Claudia and say to add him to that intro. I don't know who this guy is, but some weirdo's just written, just because you're with a bunch of Aussies doesn't mean you can talk about neighbours. No, there won't be any neighbours talk, Mad Spidey. Not today, unless it's about Toby.
We've already had that drawn a line under it's not allowed. I'm going to wait until I'm on your stream, and I'll talk about it tomorrow night with you.
So for those that want to know what DVH is all about, this may not answer your question, but it might just give you a little point in the right direction. Let's just check this out.
from the spiral.
Where's the volume? Hang on. Is this working?
Yeah, it's working. There's no sound at the start.
Okay, I thought I'd wrecked it.
Dr. Von Hoot
No,
has put
he's not-
together
there's
a
no
video
talking.
prior to even knowing that he was going to win. He actually, I reached out and he had
Why
put
is this
together
not
a video.
working?
And, obviously I'm aware of all the videos that we're going to be playing tonight, but this may be one of my favorites. So if you didn't know who DVH was, and now you know,
Well, this is
him,
a bit
but
weird. This
I
is
think
why you
you're
don't do
really gonna
live
know him
shows,
after
ladies and
watching
gentlemen.
this video.
I have no idea why the sound is not working.
I got sound. I can hear it.
Yeah, I can hear it.
And
Oh, all right.
Hear it.
Oh,
Designed
I mean, this is an improvement, to be fair.
everybody's getting censored.
made from organic
Let's
fabric.
just wait a minute,
Hello.
because I have had some problems tonight. I haven't been able to log in to YouTube on my account, but on AussieVerse I can, and I couldn't log into Instagram on AussieVerse, which is why we're not live on Instagram. So it's been a little weird. Okay, here we go. This is from the Community Awards, everybody, as well. And I saw this before I met DVH.
This was last year, yeah.
I still can't hear it.
Well, there's no sound yet.
Oh,
That explains it.
this is just brilliant.
I don't know whether you can tell, but that was one take. I didn't do it a second time.
That was awesome. I love that.
How fun was that?
Yeah. To be fair, that is one of my favourite videos I've ever done. It cracks me up. I shouldn't be making videos to make myself laugh, but I just love it. It's so dumb.
That was
You
so
have to
good.
make
I loved
videos
it.
to make us laugh. That's how
Seriously.
it works.
We're going to lift our game. We're going to lift our game.
We do. We do. Okay, so please explain, where did you get this whole idea from? Not necessarily making content. We'll go into that in just a moment, but I'm talking about the owl, the face paint, the spiral dimension, your name. Where did you get all of that persona from?
Well, about 900 years ago, I stared directly into the third eye of the owl. And yes, it transformed me into a Mao, half man, half owl. Yeah, that's my origin story. There you go.
Wow, that's great.
We'll also take a look at his YouTube channel right here. As I said, I cannot log in to my personal OmniBeau YouTube, only AussieVerse. So I swear I am subscribed, just not on AussieVerse. So explain your Parliament of Mouths.
Okay, so Parliament of Mouths is a fairly recent thing. I've only been doing it for 3 or 4 months. It's my live show, which I do in theory every Saturday night. However, like it seems to be every other week at this point. But yeah, it basically I run through a set few questions which are very general, like what have you been reading this week? What have you been watching? That kind of thing. And we just have a chat. about like the week that we've had. Really, it's just a lot of fun to have a. It's only like an hour. Like we don't usually go much longer than that. But yeah, it's just fun. Now the bulk of my content is unboxing. Like if you're an unboxing fan, that's what I do. Like, and it's been that way forever. Like I love a good unboxing. It's what I watch as well. I love and have always loved watching unboxing videos. So I thought it was a natural progression for a man dressed in a cape to start unboxing things with his embarrassed daughter. So that's pretty much it. Yeah.
And as you can see, there are many of our friends that have appeared on this show, many wonderful, wonderful people. So you can definitely curate it to certain things. Like if you're a wrestling fan, just go watch his wrestling unboxings. If you're into other YouTube channels and you like seeing them being having some fun and interviewing, you can certainly go see him there as well. Look, there's Legion of Comics.
Yeah, generally speaking, the other guys only come onto the part of mouths. The unboxings are more stuff that I've got from like other people in the community, like Legion, for instance, there, or Brian LCS, or Rob Fatstacks. Rob Fatstacks, he's a madman. He gives away wonderful things, and for some reason, and I don't know why, but he likes me. So we've become really good friends, and we've sent each other a few parcels. He's nuts and wonderful. I love the man. Yeah,
he's definitely one of my favorite people that I've met through this community. That's 100%.
He's definitely one of the good guys.
And okay, so you are. Oh man, I don't know how to say this without just blurting it out. Okay, you are criminally undersubbed, in my opinion.
You're not the first person that said that to me, but I can only I would think it's something to do with being goofy, or the algorithm doesn't like me very much. Not really sure, but like I don't mind. I'm very happy that anybody takes the time to watch any of my content. So like it blows my mind that there are 360 subs at all. Like because when I started it, I legitimately started it to have some fun with my daughter, and Badger. I'm not sure is having fun anymore, but she still does it, so it can't be can't be too bad. But she's 14, so it's a bit different than it used to be.
What Mad Spidey's hassling me to find the other video from this year's Comic Book Community Awards. While I do that,
it's right there. You're on that line. That one at the end is my 2024. Yeah.
Oh, okay, fantastic.
There you go.
I love this one too.
Now I can hear it. How odd.
I'm already laughing.
I just love how he rocks up with this. Look first.
The people on the bus are going, what the hell is going on?
Well, you've got to put a show on for a bus, haven't you?
You got a captive audience.
Exactly.
Oh, lovely.
The thing I really love about it is the expression on your face, mate, because some people do this sort of stuff and it looks like they're really struggling. You look like you're having the best time. It's so good.
Well, thanks for saying that, because I like to think that if I'm anything, it's fun to watch me be goofy. If you see what I mean. And I think it's quite important to enjoy the thing that you're doing. Like, and if I don't, then maybe I shouldn't be doing it as a hobby. Like, it's
100%. I'm pretty new to
I
wrestling and
think
I've only watched a couple of episodes of Raw. What are your favorite shows and what do you recommend to watch? Do you mean like wrestling shows or shows? I'm guessing.
Yes, wrestling.
it's got to be wrestling.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll
I
let
mean,
you answer that, KVH.
well, for me, it's AEW Dynamite is my favorite wrestling show of choice. I watched Raw religiously for, I don't know, 20 years. And it just beat me down until I can only watch it. I can only watch it sparingly now. Let's put it that way. But if you're new to it, Raw is probably quite exciting still. But I feel like I've seen every time I go back and watch a new episode of Raw, I feel like I've seen the matches before, and it's been about half a year. So like, that's my main complaint. But I don't like to be negative. Let's just try and be positive about it. Raw is one of the most polished shows you can watch, and the athletes on Raw are genuinely phenomenal. I mean, I'm not knocking the talent in the slightest. It's sometimes just a bit repetitive TV, you know.
Well, I totally get where you're coming from because for years I was fast forwarding pretty much the whole shows. But it has gotten better since Triple H has taken over. I've got to admit, and Vince has stepped down. But judging by the content that I have watched of you, you're pretty old school like me. You're a Wolfpack fan, aren't you?
Oh yeah. I mean, I've been a like pretty diehard wrestling fan since about '98. I would say like that's when I really kicked up a gear and was obsessive, and that's pretty much carried on all the way through till, well, I mean, I had a wrestling show at my wedding reception, so like I'm a big wrestling fan. So yeah,
Oh,
That's cool.
what do you mean? I need more details about that.
I have to qualify this as well because I got some stick at the time. It was my wife's idea. Like, I didn't force her to do it. She was like, "So we're going to have a wrestling show then?" And I was like, "Yeah, we are." And I organised one. So yeah, it's on YouTube somewhere, I think, but I'd have to find it. It had I don't know whether you're familiar with Doug Williams. He was in TNA, and Mark Andrews, who's part of Subculture, he was on NXT UK. He was very young on it. He was like a 16-year-old kid wrestling at my wedding reception. So, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, man, that sounds amazing. I've already told my fiance that I'm at the very least the theatrics. I'm walking in to the reception as Roman Reigns. That would just be fantastic.
Everybody raised the finger.
Yeah, exactly. My brother's already like, when I told my brother, he's like, "Yes, can I be Paul Heyman?"
Tremendous.
Discrimination against owls is what it is. Bastards.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
In Sydney, if we see people dancing in the street like this, we just cross the road and carry on with them another day. Yeah, crackhead. That lady subs the following day. Yeah, did you know that lady?
No, she was just there. I was fine. You know me. Yeah.
That's even better.
That's why I picked the spot so that I.
I would have put money on that.
And she was so game to dance with you.
Oh, that is hilarious.
Oh, that's so good.
Oh, what's this? Hang on. Oh, and wow. Okay, Dave, I don't know how this works. You've just gifted 5 AussieVerse memberships.
What?
Does that just randomly choose people, or do we have to choose people?
I think it randomly does it. I think it randomly does it to the people in the chat. Yeah.
Wow.
Or the people in the chat can click on it, like at the top.
Look at that. gifted 5 AussieVerse memberships. That is the first time anybody has done that on AussieVerse. So that is incredible, man.
Dave. That's amazing.
Thank you so much, Dave. Wow. I don't know how it worked because I randomly watched Gem Mint the other day and I won a membership for a month and I didn't do anything. I was just watching it. So I guess you're right. Maybe it does just happen. All right, where are we up to? Justin, how are you, brother? Thank you for coming on. Being here. Wrestling shows. DVH, who is your all-time favorite wrestler? And it better be Bret Hart or Eddie Guerrero.
Right, that is a hard question. Like as a kid, I was an Ultimate Warrior guy. I loved the Ultimate Warrior when I was little. Obviously, reprehensible human being, but wildly entertaining to a child. And then for a long time, because I really, really, really enjoy reprehensible human beings, Chris Benoit was one of my favorite wrestlers. I was absolutely crushed, honestly, and it stopped. I stopped watching for a period after that. But I thought he was wonderful in the ring, and unfortunately, what happened is what happened. Eddie was up there. Honestly, you're not far off. Probably Bryan Danielson as well. Or I followed his career pretty closely. I mean, he did a tour over here back in, I want to say 2003, 2004, when he was in Ring of Honor, but when Ring of Honor was first starting. And that's where he was here for like 6 months, and he is where he really learned how to properly go, in my opinion. And I've always followed his career pretty closely, and I think he can do anything despite so many roadblocks. I mean, the man got Vince McMahon to put him in the main event of WrestleMania. Like at his size and stature. And that's remarkable because it's sort of the antithesis of the Vince McMahon guy, really, isn't he? I mean, he's not very tall. To the point where I met him once and I went with my mate who's quite a lot shorter than me. And he was really happy that I had moved along and my friend was taking a photo with him because he was so much he was about the same height, so it didn't look so bad. Yeah, he was a great guy. I'm not knocking him. He was so funny.
It's funny because when people say their best David Bryan, Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson, whatever you want to call him, memories, it's always some sort of wrestling match. But for me, it was around the Nexus period where they beat the living crap out of John Cena, and Daniel jumps on John. And it's a work, but there was a lot of reality to it as well. And he grabs John by the face and he just screams in his face with all this passion, "I'm better than you. I'm better than you. You don't deserve anything." And he just slaps him in the face. And that always really stood with me because I'm like, I'm pretty sure he believes
that angle got him fired. And he was easily the most believable and brilliant thing in that angle, and he got fired for it, which is ridiculous. I remember a quote. Vince McMahon himself phoned him up to fire him, and Daniel said to him, or Bryan said to him, "Don't worry about me. Like, you've just made me way more money than I was making with you by releasing me," which I think is why Vince brought him back in a couple of months because he doesn't like losing that sort of cash injection. Because he's right, he made Bryan Danielson a superstar by firing him because he was the most dangerous thing in that angle.
He did. Azrael 85 loves wrestling, but the reason why he started getting into it because of Liv Morgan. I can't say I blame you there.
Yeah, I mean, you can't argue with that.
LOD for life. Legion of Doom, brother.
I love the Legion of Doom.
Are you saying thanks? Oh, you got one of them. Okay. Heroes for Hire. Good. I'm glad, Matt, that you got one of those.
I think it's what the little S means, mate.
Yep.
Or that little
I
symbol.
wonder who else got them. I grew up watching wrestling too, DVH. Me and my dad watched Memphis wrestling every Sunday. Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Good old Jerry the King.
Well, I've not had enough exposure to Memphis. I've watched some, what I can get my hands on, but it never aired over here. And I've watched, the stuff that you can get on the WWE DVDs and stuff like that, but not like I haven't seen like weekly TV. It would be really interesting to watch Memphis from like the weekly TV days.
What annoys me about Australia is the only way we can watch AEW is, I think, by downloading a certain app and paying for it, which really annoys me. And therefore, I hardly watch AEW. I get to watch as much WWE as I want and a few other promotions. But AEW, they need to make an international deal to be able to get it over here properly.
I thought they had. I thought they'd just done one in Australia. Like, I'll have a look something up about that when we're finished, because I swear I read something recently, because that's why they're doing this big Australian show. They're doing a stadium in March, I want to say. It's March. But yeah, it's...
Are you going?
To Australia to see it. Yeah. No, I'm not. I'd love to. If you could fly me out there, that'd be great.
I don't even know if I'm going. It's too close to Sharif for me. Hello, gentlemen and gentle moles. Tate, it looks like you're a lucky recipient as well. Good work. So that's 2 claimed. All-time favorite was Macho Man and Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper was, man, and you know what? Macho Man 2 probably, but they were way ahead of their time. If Roddy Piper was around today, he would be world champion within a couple of years. It is such a shame that he never got that strap.
Wasn't that around the same year as Brutus Beefcake?
Yeah.
Well? Yeah.
Given your
Looked
Batman
like a male strip of that bloke.
Absolute Batman. Spin it back to comics. Get Sharif and Steve back into the convo.
Absolute Batman. I've read the first 2 issues, and I was pretty impressed by the first issue, but I sort of liked the second one, but I don't know whether I'm gonna buy the individuals. I'll probably just read it on the app. Do you know what I mean? Ongoing, because it feels like it's going to be interesting, but I haven't got the same fire with it after that second issue that I did. I don't know. It's not a very good take. I've heard a lot of people complaining about the writing. I didn't mind it. Like, I can understand their complaints. Like Cliff on Comics particularly articulated it very well about some of the dialogue being really out of place, particularly for Alfred. But it is a different Alfred, to be fair. It's... Yeah, I enjoyed it, and I like that they're doing something different. But at the same time, my problem with the absolute stuff generally is that, unlike Marvel, I don't think DC is broken, so it doesn't need fixing. So... Whereas, like, Marvel stuff, like Spider-Man, has been trash for ages. So Ultimate Spider-Man is a breath of fresh air. Whereas with Absolute Batman, I'm like, all right, I didn't love everything about the last, year or so of Batman, but it isn't fundamentally broken or anything. Like, just a new story will be good. This just seems a lot like it's going to end up being another Elseworlds type of, story eventually. It's cool.
Even if it does go to head towards like an Elseworlds kind of stuff, I'd say it wouldn't be that bad. I mean, seeing how Elseworlds.
Oh yeah, no. No, some of my favorite stories are actually Elseworld stories, but what I'm sort of getting at is that, like, because the main continuity is actually still pretty good, it's not going to have the same effect that maybe the Ultimates is having eventually. Yeah.
Yep, fair
I like.
enough. Yeah, I can't wait to read Absolute Superman.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed Absolute Superman, but again, I don't know whether I'll be continuing to. Like, I'll probably just wait until it's on the DC app rather than buy it digitally or buy the regulars. You know.
Oh, there we go. Tate Prime, Cliff Comics, Legion of Comics, Heroes for Hire, and Whack Comics all got the memberships. Oh wow, we didn't want Whack to have a membership. Come on. He never. And you know what, Mark? I love you too, bro. But I don't know how much AussieVerse you watch either. But you know, okay. Tate, Cliff, Heroes for Hire. I'm glad you guys did at least. Good on you. Bruce Wayne, City Planner, yeah. So what are your favorite books to be reading right now?
The Ghost Machine books primarily are really blowing my mind. Like, I that whole universe feels like it's going to be really significant going forward, to me at least. They haven't done one book that I really haven't cared for, and even if there have been like slightly less good books, even slightly, there haven't been like it's just been like a tiny little notch down type of like. I cannot say enough good things about Jeff Johns' Ghost Machine output. The whole thing has been really, really good. Like, Daniel Warren Johnson as well. Anything Daniel Warren Johnson does, I absolutely love. So Do a Powerbomb is pretty much my favorite thing ever. But I'm really enjoying The Moon is Following Us. I would have loved for him to continue doing the art on Transformers, but I have read Hyde Street. Yeah. I'm really intrigued where that goes. I'm probably the target audience because I love horror, but at the same time, I'm digging the other Ghost Machine stuff so much that really, like, I don't need it. That doesn't make sense. I'm going to buy it no matter what. I love it, but like, there's something about Hyde Street that hasn't hit in the same way for me that, say, Geiger or Redcoat or Rook or Junkyard Joe has yet. But we're so early with Hyde Street, like, it doesn't, you know, it's been one issue and the spin-off Devour. So yeah, I've enjoyed it, just not like I need in my veins yet.
I'll let you two ask some questions. I've been hogging it.
I think Bo and I and maybe Steve would be in the camp where we kind of look forward to people who've read that give their opinions, because we're gonna wait until everything's collected and then we go, you know, all in one chunk. But yeah, it seems like the stuff that Jeff Johns is doing right now, it's like a comeback. I feel, because it's been so long since he had a home run of anything. But when Geiger came out, and then when he developed the universe, and you know, he's doing the world building, a lot of the stuff kind of resonates, harking back to him getting back to his writing roots. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to more stuff of that universe coming out.
I heard Redcoat is good.
Yeah, Redcoat's a lot of fun, but it really depends how much you like sort of a cheeky loser as your protagonist. You know, like if that annoys you, then it's not going to work for you. But I loved it. I think Redcoat's amazing. Particularly the last issue was just issue 7, I think it is. Like it nearly had me crying. It was that good. Like it's really, yeah, it's a special story that. I don't want to spoil anything because if you haven't read it, like it wouldn't be cool. But I haven't read Rocket Fellas yet, but I do have it. I haven't got as far as reading it yet. Yeah. I'll try and get that done before Parliament of Mouths tomorrow, and I can have a chat about it.
Seeing how you said you haven't gotten around to it yet, do you have a large to be read pile?
Yeah, so I read everything digitally. So with image stuff, I have to buy it on Kindle to see it, and I don't mind buying stuff that I love twice, if you see what I mean, because I also buy the floppies. I just don't actually read them. Like I just collect them, which makes me crazy, but you know I do that. So, but with Ghost Machine particularly, I don't mind at all having to buy it twice. It's just great. I really, really dig it. So there's so much to read. Yes, I guess there's always something that I haven't done, but there's like Ghost Machine and anything Daniel Warren Johnson or Energon Universe. I always make a point of reading like pretty much straight away, just because I don't want anybody to spoil any of that sort of thing for me. Whereas other stuff, I'll probably just forget. Even if you did give me a spoiler, it would just go over my head. But yeah, sort of how I work.
No, I'm exactly the same way. Spoilers, everyone has to point them out to me.
With you reading digital, is that the preferred way, or do?
Yeah, I have OCD, and I'm not going to go too far into it, but I started to get very, very anxious whilst actually reading the books, and it sort of prevented me from reading for a time. Like if I go back to my sort of comic book origin story, I read floppies from like say 12 till about 20, and then put them aside and went to trades and read trades up until like the OCD got really bad, and then I just sort of stopped reading until I discovered digital was a thing, and then like I won't bore you with the details about the OCD, but it has got a lot better, so I'm fine with handling them. I just don't want to open them and you know trigger myself. So yeah, the digital has been a real blessing for me in that way, because it means I can still read the stuff that I love. Because yeah, it was getting a bit debilitating at one point, but that's Bonzo. Like I love it. Yeah, that's probably not something I should say to Australians, is it? Like that feels like cultural appropriation all of a sudden. like
You say.
like because like I would say that day to day, but like nobody else would here, so it does feel wrong.
Well, I think you'll find you can say nearly anything to Aussies and it's fine. Sorry, Steve.
So I was going to say, just with the price points for digital stuff, what's it like price-wise compared to floppies? Because I don't read digital stuff.
Okay, so with Marvel and DC, unless I'm desperate to read something, I just rely on the app subscriptions, and that takes care of it. Now, in Marvel's case, that's something ridiculous, like 4 months after they've been released in floppy, they come digitally. Is it 3? Is it? But that is annoying. But
DC's worse.
But if you get the unlimited DC one, the premium tier, it's a month. So
Okay, because I don't have that. That's 6 months.
Yeah, the ultra tier, I think it's called. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's just a month for DC, which is doable. You know, I don't love having to do that, but
Yeah.
you know, it does
Okay.
put you on the back foot a bit. But with Image and all those, I have to buy those all on Kindle usually, and that costs. I think it's exactly the same unless they're on sale. Like so, exactly the same price as a raw book. Yeah.
Interesting.
So if DC is like 6 months behind, wouldn't that be about the same time when the trade comes up and then you get six? You get to
Well,
the
yeah,
6
yeah. But for me personally, it works because I don't really buy that much DC. It's got to be really, really good if it's DC. Where Marvel, I was just buying constantly, and now digital is the way to go, man. It's the only way that I can keep up with new comics.
All right.
Yeah, I mean it's my pull list is really way too big, and I should, considering I'm buying anything that I actually want to read twice, I really need to rein it in a little bit because it's starting to get unwieldy.
Yeah,
Because I don't need a pull list with 20 titles with variant covers like every month that I'm not going to read. You know, like it's just. I don't know. I had this conversation last night with somebody, like as well. I need to make sure that I rate it in.
Well, I notice even with the comics curing cancer and things like that, you've bought quite a bit. You've bought quite a bit recently. Do you find, is that just an impulse thing, or is it stuff that you genuinely decided to buy, or is it a mixture of both?
In the case of comics curing cancer, it was an impulse thing. But
Yeah.
because I want to. Okay, I don't have a lot of money. So if the way my brain works is if I can buy something for like a reasonable small price, then you might as well. Like for instance, on the first day of comics curing cancer, Rob had like pulls from his long box for, I think it was something like $40 for 10 books. I can't remember exactly. But that I knew that it's Rob, so the books are going to be amazing for the $40. And I think, well, I can afford $40, and $40 is fine because that's good. So, and it's only a small amount. The trouble is, then I think, well, it's only $40. I might get another one, and then I'll get another one, and then I get another one, and yeah, that it got out of control. And soon I had no savings left. Let's put it that way. But no, I love C3 and I love supporting it. So even if I don't definitely want the thing that I got, I don't care. Like it's awesome to be able to support that charity event. It's so much fun. I love it every year. Yeah.
I think everybody in the comic community can empathize with that. Just buy it and wait and see, and then it arrives, and you're like, "What?" You know. I think we've all done that. Honestly,
there is so much stuff coming from C3 that I don't remember what it is like now because it's got quite a distance, and I remember the original art that I bought. I think I remember all of that, and I bought a graded toy. So there was only one of those, so I remember that. And I know there are loads of raw books. Not a clue. Not a clue. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I think it's a good thing Sharif didn't watch it this year, I don't think, because I remember seeing a lot of things and I'm like, oh, he'd want that. Oh, he'd want that. Oh, he'd want that.
Maybe next year.
Yeah, well, it's a bit hard for other countries because it's an entire weekend and it's multiple YouTube channels. And as great as it is, I tried to watch as much as I could, and I still wasn't able to. There was still three, you know. But yeah, it's a great cause. Absolutely fantastic. Diplomatic.
Yeah.
I don't know what that word is.
Depleting. Just missing a couple of bits.
There you go. Yeah.
Depleting.
I have this
if
same
if I'm going to waste my money on anything, it should be that. So you know,
You
100%.
can justify your spending. It's for a good cause.
How did you get your daughter Badger involved? Was she always there, or is she a recent addition, or how? Because I
mean, she's been around for 14 years, but like, no, I'm trying to remember. I think I've just asked her whether she'd be interested in doing it. And at the time, she was really big into watching YouTube, as all kids are. But I was very concerned with the idea of I didn't want her to really be on YouTube. So hence the mask and stuff like that. And she loves doing it. It's just she doesn't have that much interest in what we're actually doing, if that makes any sense. And she thinks I'm a goof, so it's another fun thing to do in the family, because honestly, because of the way I work at night, I don't see her during the week that much, really. Even though like we're in the same house, it's not great in the weekdays. But yeah, it's just another cool thing to do with your kid, really. I'd also, from my perspective, I wanted to show her me doing something, because before that it was very sort of like I'd just be sort of sat around watching TV rather than doing anything proactive. And in my limited brain, this is proactive, I guess.
The other important thing to remember too is, and I can talk to Sharif as well, but being a parent, it's your responsibility to embarrass your children. 100% it is, and you do whatever you can to make sure that happens, because it's good for them. It's good for you.
It is an important thing to do, but there is I'm pretty good at skating the line, because she never doesn't want to do it. You see what I mean? She's never been like, I don't want to do this, and this is out of order. But she's always been a bit sort of like, oh God, again. Like, so like it's a nice dynamic. So she likes being there, but she's also a little bit embarrassed by me, which is great.
It's like me with my kids as well. Like my oldest is very much like that. I used to drop him off at school, and as he's walking across the road, I just yell and do really bad Arnold Schwarzenegger impressions, be like, Liam, get to the classroom. And you're like, shut up, Dad, shut up. But my youngest, bro, he's the complete opposite. I'll do that, and he goes, good job, Dad. Awesome. You've got to embarrass your kids. It's half the fun of having them.
It's true. It really is.
Sharif, do you embarrass your kids?
Just by being there, he does.
Not publicly, but it's like I said, it's one of the responsibilities.
So what's actually no, I'll ask that one later. You start your shows with a very dad joke all the time. What was it that made you decide to do that? And can I say thank you? Because it's my favorite part. I love every time. And the way you deliver it.
That's I try. Right. That came about because I wanted an intro, and I thought that we needed something fun. So if you watch the very early videos, some of them have like different sort of weird things that happen rather than just bad jokes.
Yep.
And I got some feedback from quite a lot of people that had, with my limited subs at the time, I think I was way below 100 subs at this point, and specifically Triple G Comics, Pete, reached out and was like, I love those jokes. Like, it just works. Do it. And yeah, I mean, he's right. They do work. It's very funny to watch somebody like completely fail to make somebody laugh. Is great.
It makes it even funnier because it's your daughter as well, I think, because it's just
Yeah.
it's so stereotypical, the dad joke,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So, yeah, it works really, really well. Just so you're aware, Steve is coming over when? Tomorrow, Steve?
Yeah.
We will be dyeing his beard pink as per the rules of how we got to over 1,000 subs. But I will be joining him in solidarity and dyeing some of this mop pink as well. So you're not
And
alone there. Steve.
again, I'd like to go on record and say the bet was made without my consultation. Thank you very much.
You mean your consent?
Both. Both.
and you're welcome. Thank you for not being a little pussy and running away from that.
Good, thanks.
So what does the future hold for you, Dr. Van Hoot? Do you turn around and say to yourself, okay, so I mean, I know it's very hard to give feedback on your own channel because most people, and I know I'm one of them, you're your own worst critic, and you may, and I'm asking this question because this is the way that I think, you may sometimes do a show and then think, oh, that was really crap. And then you watch a little bit of it and you're like, oh, it actually wasn't really that bad. Or the vice versa. You might think something was really good and then you have a look at it and it didn't come across that well. And I think being a content creator that is trying to get more subs and all that, you're always thinking about ways to grow the channel and to get more viewers. So do you look at your channel and go, I need to change it up, I need to do something? Or do you stick to your roots and go, no, it'll eventually come?
Yeah, a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B. I'm pretty, like, I like the type of content I make, so I'm going to continue doing that. But I want to be better at making it. You see what I mean? Like, that's the. And you're right. Sometimes, like, I do an unboxing and I think, oh, that went well. And then I edit it and I'm like, oh, it wasn't as good as I thought it was. Or vice versa, I can finish an unboxing and be like, that was shit. And I can edit it up and it can be really quite funny. You know, it's one of those. In the moment, it's difficult to tell until you see the video afterwards. Yeah. There are a couple of things that I really want to improve, which is I'm not very good at lives. Like, in my opinion, like, for a start, I don't feel as natural as when I'm just with my kid. So I want to get more natural at it. The other thing is the audio on my videos is driving me insane. So and that's been a problem since I started. Like, I'm trying my best. I'm always trying to get it better, but it's just isn't good enough quality for me. Like, my editing isn't great. I know I'm not a great editor, but I do try, and I sort of lean into the sort of, well, that was good enough, like, in the way I edit. But the sound quality, it drives me mental. But that's on me. I've got to work it out.
It's interesting you say that, because the feedback that I get from big YouTube channels is our lighting. Our lighting isn't good enough. But one thing that actually annoys me, that I'm sure if individually us three had better and more expensive equipment, it wouldn't be an issue. But as it stands now, when you have multiple people on a panel and some people talk over each other, which is just natural, you can't avoid that. One thing that I hate about, I think it's StreamYard. I'm not the most tech savvy person, but if I'm talking and then Steve says something, it'll completely mute me and have Steve. And sometimes I'll watch it and I'll be like, oh, no one heard that person because someone else, you know, and that really annoys me. I want to be able to fix that one day, where even if people are talking over each other, you can still hear it all, even if it's jumbles.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
I mean, there are obvious limitations with StreamYard, like you just said, and that's the trouble with lives. There is going to be people talking over people, especially if you've got loads of people and it's a free for all. That can really jumble everybody up. But I think as a YouTuber, or I say I'm a YouTuber, a content creator, or anything like that, the one thing I might really enjoy my content, like in sort of the act of opening a box and stuff like that. I've always got to bear in mind that it's a visual medium, and people have to want to watch it in order to. And I think some people just. I mean, it's okay to do that, I suppose. Don't not really care about stuff like lighting and sound and editing. That's okay to do, but in order to progress and make your content better, that's one of the things that needs to happen. Like, and I'm trying. Not very good at it, but I'm trying. So, like, it's That's just the way I feel about it. I think you've always got to try. And also, I have a degree in video production. You wouldn't know it from my actual video content, but I do have one, which is always in the back of my head. Like, it should be better than this. Every like you really should be better at doing this. So I just feel like I have to try to do it. Like, it's important.
I think the other important thing to remember, mate, is that. Okay, that's your perception of what you're doing, but you wouldn't have people watching if they didn't like what you produced.
Yes, yeah, that's very true. Like, but you have to be your own worst critic, I think, and if you're not, then maybe that's where there's a problem. And with my editing, like I just said, that's good enough. That's already bothering me. Like, I've said that because, like, I know for a fact that when I go to edit something and it doesn't look right, or I get timings wrong, or I know I can do it better, but I just let it go. That still bothers me. So it's always there in the back of your head. You can't help it.
I think editing is very, very important. It's something that we don't do at all. But from what I've watched with other channels, the more polished and the more edited it is, it definitely comes across a lot better. And I'm jealous of that because I've been shown it. Basic editing seems to be pretty easy, but I just don't want to put in the time. Where other people that do it, Simple Simon, for example, he puts in hours editing his videos, hours, and the end result is fantastic. He looks like a pro. Dave from Still Only 35 Cents, I've got no idea how much time he puts into it, but his editing.
Dave is amazing. Dave is my gold standard, I think, of the overall of, like, and this isn't any disrespect to anybody else either, but I just, like, when I watch Dave's videos, I think, well, that's what I would like to do, except with this ugly mug, as it were. Like,
yeah. See, I have the same thought about Simple Simon, because I love how he goes out and does the vlogs, and he's been doing it so long now. He's learned how to do, like, certain shots and certain real. It's really, really professional. And Dave's very, very the same, actually. But just Simple Simon does a lot more outside vlogging sort of stuff. But yeah, those two guys are fantastic with their editing. And I think for AussieVerse to ever get any better, one of us is going to have to finally try to do that. But in the meantime, yeah, just keep making what you love and keep having a good time, I think. And that's, I think, the real key as well.
I think that's the real key, because I've been doing this for long enough and been around the community to see people sort of come and drop off or slow down or just become disenchanted. And I think the reason for that often is that they're just not really enjoying it and putting a lot of pressure on themselves. So you have to enjoy it if you have pressure. You see what I mean? Like, because if you don't enjoy it, then that pressure is really going to kill you. Like, it's not good.
The other thing too is, if you don't enjoy it, then people will know when they're watching it. They'll know that you're not enjoying yourself because you're not genuine.
Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, I think an important part of the delivery. Because also, you have to, right, I mean, this is going to sound odd from someone dressed like me, but I think you have to sort of be genuine as well. Like, you have to, like, appear to enjoy it because you really have to enjoy it, if you see what I mean. If I was talking about something I don't care about, like, I don't know, stamp collecting, it would be really difficult for me because I really don't care. You know, it's no offense to stamp collectors. I get it, but it's not for me.
Hello to all our philatelists who are watching tonight.
We do want to give a shout out now to our sponsor, that is Comic Bookaroo, Australia's #1 online comic book store. Comic Bookaroo, proud sponsors of AussieVerse for all your comic book needs. Graphic novels, hardcovers, omnibuses, single issues. Don't forget to pre-order every Sunday at Comic Bookaroo. And if you head to Comic Bookaroo right now until the 5th of December, they do have on their very first front page the AussieVerse 1000 sub sale. All you need to do is pop in AussieVerse code and you get 30% off all of these glorious, glorious books. Some of them are even omnibuses. That's right, 30% off omnibuses. So if you want a good deal now, go to the AussieVerse 1000 sub sale on Comic Bookaroo.
And just remember, too, it's on the very first front page and not the second front page.
Fuck you.
You're welcome.
Passion was so true. And I guess the last bit of promotion that we do want to say is that if people aren't aware, the other day we went live with Dave from Still Only 35 Cents and we announced our 1000 subscription giveaway. If you didn't see what was on offer, I suggest you go and take a look at that because one lucky winner is going to be getting a box of collected editions, a big box of like 7, 8, 9 books, I think it is. Dave from Still Only 35 Cents is donating, I think it was a bunch of replica 1950 comics. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Oh, good on you. And Steve is also going to be purchasing any AussieVerse shirt, whether it's this thing or whether it's this thing, any size that you are, and we will get that delivered straight to you as well. How do you enter? Go check out that video and we'll be drawing that winner in 1 week. Okay, have we got anything else for the Master Dr. Von Hoot?
No, not for me. Yeah.
Not from you? Okay, see you later.
No.
No? Okay, see you later. Now the show really begins. Let's get into the real questions now, DVH. No, I'm just being an asshole. Okay. Okay, well, I mean, look, Dave, I just want to say Dr. Von Hoot. I really appreciate you taking the time to come out here today, man. We spoke about it a little while ago. Sometimes, schedules, time zones and things like that don't meet up, but you've been very kind to me since day one. Very welcoming into your community. I really appreciate it. And I think you're an all-round really freaking awesome guy. And if you have not subscribed to his channel, I implore you to. If you like dad jokes, if you like wrestling, if you like unboxing, if you like humor, if you like this face, go check him out right now on his own YouTube channel. It will be in the description, but there it is right there. Okay, anything left from the people in the chat? Yes, we have great show. Okay.
I mean, I would like to thank you for having me on, and it was a lot of fun because I think everybody would like to interact with everybody a little bit more than they get to sometimes, and it's always nice when it happens. So thank you very much. It's been a good laugh, and that's what I wanted really, because otherwise I'd be asleep, and that would be rubbish.
Well, yeah, mate. Anytime you ever want to come back on, you can.
Rose line. Hang on. That's what I was going to say. I was going to steal your line, but you beat me to it.
What was that? Hello, Mr. Pixelated.
Anytime you want to come back on, you are more than welcome to.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, you're looking like you're a suspect at the moment.
I am.
But yeah,
I am.
dare I say it was a hoot. Nice, Matt.
Well played.
I feel the sarcasm coming right from that comment. Good on you, Tate. Yeah, man. Feel free to ever come back on. You want to. We do fantasy drafts and all sorts of games on AussieVerse as well. I think it would be. I nearly said it would be a hoot. God damn it! It would be great if you came back and joined us on one of those. Single Pixel Steve. Yes, that is great. Okay. So the last question of the night, DVH. I don't know how much AussieVerse you watch, and right now this is going to prove that answer. So if I turned around to you, good sir, and I said, "What is AussieVerse?" What would your answer be? Chat, shut up.
No, I have no idea. I mean, I assumed it was you guys. But like, is that not the answer?
I assumed it was you guys.
Somebody else.
Yeah. Like, am I in the wrong place? Like, is this?
That's a great answer.
Come on, chat. Come on, chat. Tell DVH what is AussieVerse. Let's go. So that way he can be embarrassed for not knowing the answer and he can learn for next time. That's right, Justin. AussieVerse is and always will be
for life.
And you know what? It's the first time I've ever had anybody on the show that can turn around and say, I stole that line from a certain something. And no, I didn't. I came up with that all by myself. Take for life. For life. That is correct. Oh, look at all these people for life. That's right. And if you want a second entry into the draw, all you need to do is write for life on that video, guys. So thank you very much. We'll catch you next time. AussieVerse out.